I have no idea.
All right. If it's true, if he judged you by the standard of the Ten Commandments, you'd be going to hell.
If you believe in the God of the Old Testament, not, because there's no hell mentioned in the Old Testament.
Mm-hmm.
It's only with the punishment of the dead is not specified.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There, as I just say you know.
Right.
It's only with gentle Jesus, meek and mild, that the idea of eternal torture for minor transgressions is introduced.
Mm-hmm. So, speaking
I'm not
of
sure
Jesus,
you know quite what you're talking about.
So, speaking of Jesus, if, sir, remember we're playing what if it's true that God exists he came to this earth, Jesus Christ, the God-man, the Savior of souls, and he took the punishment that you deserve for breaking God's moral laws. He died on a cross for you. He rose from the dead and defeated death. Let's say that it's true, sir. He died knowing that you, Christopher Hitchens, would spend all of your calories and energy on fighting against him, but he died for you anyway. Would that not be the single greatest act of kindness in the history of your life, if not in the world?
No, it would not.
How come?
Because if I'd had the power, or had actually been present, I would have done everything possible to prevent a human sacrifice from being enacted, whether the person concerned wanted it or not.
Yeah, but let's just say it happened.
It's barbaric, and no one has the right or the duty to immolate themselves for me. I don't want it. I didn't ask for it, and I'm not bound by it.
Yeah, that's not the question, though. If it happened, would it not be an act of kindness?
No. It would be an act of extreme arrogance. It would be an act of extreme presumption, saying, what I'm doing now binds someone who hasn't yet been born. It takes away my free will, takes away my autonomy. It gives me no choice in the matter. I've told... I'm sorry, it's too bad. The sacrifice has already been made. You're committed. What is this but a very, very crude form of tyranny and intimidation?
Well, it seems like you have the right to reject it. You've done a fine job to date. So if it's true, sir, can't you at least admit, yes, that would have been an act of kindness? I just don't believe that it happened.
No. I've thought about it quite a lot. But I have quite a long discussion of this in my book. You're not trying anything on me that's original or all that daring or playful. I make that assumption and examine it in my book. I say here's what my reaction is to this offer. Please look it up, and please encourage your listeners to do likewise.
But, sir, we're playing a little fantasy game.
I understand perfectly. I'm not as slow on the uptake as you seem to suppose. How many times do I have to tell you? I make the assumption along with you, and I give you my response to it. No, I don't think it would be an act of kindness.
All right. What if...
I think it would be I think it's a tyrannical act.
It's a tyrannical act that somebody sacrificed his life for you?
But according to you, he didn't.
All right.
Because he was seen alive very shortly after these supposed events.
Yeah. That'd be the resurrection from the dead.
Did he die or what?
Yeah, he did, and rose from the dead. It's called Easter. Been celebrated for a couple thousand years.
To no effect.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm sure that it hasn't affected anybody.
He was supposed to come back in the lifetime of his listeners.
Mm-hmm.
That was a direct promise.
It depends on your understanding of eschatology. Sir, let me play another round of What If before we close our time together with Christopher Hitchens. What if the Bible is accurate? Sir, I want to share a quote with you from the Bible, all right, sir? For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who by their unrighteousness suppress the truth. For what can be known about God is plain to them, because God has shown it to them. For his invisible attributes, his eternal power and divine nature have been clearly perceived ever since the creation of the world in the things that have been made, so that they/you are without excuse. Does that sound like you, sir?
No, it sounds like St. Paul.
Right, but does it sound like he's describing you in Romans 1?
No.
You're not suppressing the obvious truth that there's a creator because you, sir, prefer to live your own autonomous way.
No, St. Paul is nearer the mark when he talks about the evidence of things not seen, and when he admits that most of this is supposition, and the things he's claiming to know cannot be known by anyone.
Mm-hmm. So, sir, you're familiar with the Prince of Preachers, Charles Spurgeon, correct?
No.
You've never heard of Charles Spurgeon?
I've heard the name. I can't sound familiar.
The Prince of Preachers, he said regarding a fellow like you, somebody who fights and wars against God, typically, if you want to know the reason why, just follow him home. Sir, is it possible that the reason you rage so much against God is because you just want to live your own autonomous way, living any way that you want to, any lifestyle that you prefer without being accountable to your Creator?
I think that's highly probable, yes.
All right. Excellent. Sir, We appreciate your time. The book is called God is Not Great, How Religion Poisons Absolutely 100% Everything. Sir, we're grateful for your time. Thanks for playing our little game.
Anytime.
Goodbye, sir. What if? This is Wretched Radio.